Hi, ladies and gentlemen. So it's Mr. D back again. I just wanted to go over a project that you're going to be starting and working on over the next couple days. So the project is a paper slideshow, and I know a lot of you are familiar with paper slideshow, but I just kind of want to give you an example of one today and have a little fun with it, obviously, but also maybe clear up any confusion that you might have. So you're going to create a paper slideshow with two other people. So you're going to be in a group of three. And in this group of three, each one of you is either going to randomly select or you're going to kind of draw straws or whatever. The idea is for each one of you to have one of the three plans in the Constitutional Convention. So let's say Ms. King, Ms. Wachowski, and myself were a group of three. In that group, let's say Ms. Wachowski is going to get the Virginia plan, and then Mrs. King is going to get the New Jersey plan, and I'm going to get the Constitutional Convention. So all three plans were covered. And so then what's going to happen is each one of us individually is going to go and start working on our portion of the paper slideshow. So Mrs. Wachowski is going to start working on the Virginia plan. So she's going to start to gather pictures that give an illustration of each area of the Virginia plan. I have the instructions provided for you as a PDF, so make sure you follow those. It kind of gives you an idea of what you have to have a picture for. And then she's going to create a script. You can use your organizers. I mean, just basically you're going to follow that. That's kind of your script. Just make sure you have a little bit of detail and you rehearse it. And then she's also going to have images. So images like this, for instance. This is part of my story for today. So I could either cut this out and use this as an image, or I can draw my image. And I can find something on the internet and I can trace it. So whatever you want to do is fine. I would rather you draw it because I don't want to jam the printer up, the color printer in the library. But just be aware of that. You are going to be doing this. And I think some other classes will be doing this as well. So I think it's better to draw if you can, trace it, all that good stuff. I have paper and supplies in the classroom. So then at the end, what's going to happen on the last day of this assignment is that you are then going to get back together with the other two people in your group, and you are going to film your paper slideshow. You're not going to film yours individually, as in I'm going to film the Constitution Convention, the Great Compromise individually, and then Mrs. King is going to film the New Jersey plan individually, etc. It's not what's going to happen. We're actually going to rehearse it together so that we can film it on one iPad and then have one video as our presentation. So that video is going to have the Virginia and New Jersey plans and the Great Compromise together in it. So hopefully that kind of clarifies what I expect of you. So what I've done is I've actually put together a short paper slide. It's actually not that short. A paper slideshow on something that, I don't know, that I find to be funny. So my paper slideshow is going to be different than yours. My paper slideshow is a fairy tale, right, or a story. Yours is going to be more informational. So you have to stick with the Constitutional Convention. I just chose something random. My story is actually entitled Mr. D and the Beanstalk. All right. So listen to my story. Watch how I slide the pictures into frame, right? And then also notice how I talk about the picture and it's related to my story. So without further ado, Mr. D and the Beanstalk. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, there was a great kingdom. This kingdom was called Downingtown Middle School Kingdom. This kingdom was excellent. This kingdom had wonderful people, outstanding students, and a ruler that was just, fair, wise, and just plain old awesome. That ruler's name was Mrs. King. Mrs. King ruled over the kingdom. She loved her subjects very much, and the subjects loved her as well. In Mrs. King's kingdom, she practiced something called witchcraft. Kind of like Harry Potter-ish, maybe a little bit Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. But she actually called her witchcraft science. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. So this kingdom practiced science in all of its witchcraft that came along with it. This kingdom, though, experienced a very big, large problem. This kingdom experienced a problem with a giant. And this giant's name was Mr. Long. Let's say, I just made that up. That's random. And, oh, no, that's not the giant. That giant is too muscular and scary and, yeah, too terrifying. That's not him. So that's another giant. That's maybe another kingdom far, far away. Oh, there he is. There's the giant that terrifies Mrs. King's kingdom. And what he does is he goes around and he terrifies children. And he terrifies them, makes them cry and scream and just have a horrible time. And how does he do so? He does this through writing, or shall I say, poetry. And poetry is his tool for terrorizing children. He does so in a layer that is adorable. It looks like an IKEA factory or business that is going out of business sale. And what he does is he hangs things and he puts things that don't necessarily match his room. Looks kind of out of place. It's empty. But it's cute. It's adorable. It's good enough. So the children hate it there. And so Miss King had to put an end to this particular problem of hers. She calls upon her BFF, an individual that is what she calls a knight in shining armor. And that knight's name was, I don't know, randomly, let's just make this up, Mr. D. Will hide his identity. So Mr. D was the knight that Mrs. King was going to place in charge of going after the giant and making sure that his reign of terror stops. Well, as he approached the court, everyone in the court noticed that he was hobbling. And the king asked the hero, "Why are you hobbling, sir?" And the hero said, "Well, I was playing basketball with a bunch of other knights, and I tore my ACL. So now I'm hobbling around on crutches, and I'm not as effective as I used to be." And Mrs. King gasped. She said, "What?" And the knight had a dilemma. What does he do? Does he let this reign of terror continue by the giant, or does he do something about it? America! Well, the giant is going to go down. The hero decides that he is going to go on an epic journey, go after that giant, and end his reign of terror. The hero moves towards the highest mountain in all the land, where the giant lived on top. The hero climbed the mountain. It took him a while. It took him a few days because he was hobbling and had one good leg. But he still kept the subjects, the children, in mind to end this reign of terror against them. So he climbs and he climbs, and he finally reaches the top where he encounters the evil giant. And they have an epic battle. Well, it wasn't really that epic because even with one leg, the hero was much stronger than the giant. And so the hero very easily destroyed the giant and tied him up to the ground. And that was pretty much the end of that. That was very easy. And so the giant is laying on the ground in defeat, in agony, while the hero is basking in the glory. And then he starts to hear the giant sob. And he hears sniffles. And so the hero says to the giant, "Why are you crying? Have some dignity, sir." And the giant starts to talk. Why'd you do that to me? I didn't do anything to you." And then the hero listens, and the giant says to him, "For all that I've done, I've never done anything to you." And the hero says, "What have you done for me, sir?" And so the giant begins to talk and recount the tale of how the giant, "I sent you emails, and they had get well emails, and the students were not being tortured. They were writing get well emails to you to make you feel better." The hero recalls this, and he appreciates the emails very much. And he says, "My gosh, have I wrongly accused the giant of terrorizing?" And he realized that this was a noble gesture that was amazing, that brought joy to his heart. Speaking of heart, he realized that the giant actually had a heart. A giant one, in fact. To care so much about the knight while he was hurt. To give up his free time, his writing time, in the layer, the IKEA-looking layer, and have the students write get well emails was a great gesture, one that filled the knight's heart with joy and happiness. So the knight threw the giant a tissue and said, "Sir, I apologize. I have wrongly accused you of terrorizing these children, but yet you were doing good. You were having them write emails to me while I was down and defeated. I appreciate that, giant." So he helped the giant up. In fact, the giant and the noble hero became best friends forever. So much, in fact, that the giant started to dress like the hero. He wanted to be like the hero, and the hero encouraged it, because the giant needed someone not necessary to look up to, literally, but figuratively. So, ladies and gentlemen, the two paired up, and they decided to protect the kingdom together. Matter of fact, they both teamed up to defeat the Wicked Witch of ELA, Miss Dunn, very easily. Together they were a mighty force. The end, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this epic tale, Mr. D and the Beanstalk, and I hope you get an idea of what a paper slideshow could look like. Or you just think that something's wrong with me and I have way too much free time on my hands. But if so, either one of those is great. I'm okay with that because I do have a lot of free time. I think this was an awesome tale, and also is a good example of what a paper slideshow could look like. All right, so if you have any questions about this, you can ask Ms. Dickerson. You can refer to your instructions. Don't forget to use your organizer, rehearse, and work together, just like Mr. Long and I did in the story. Oh, sorry, not I. Sorry, Mr. D, the hero in the story, not I. You can email me as well, and you can send me a message in Schoology if you need help. Ladies and gentlemen, be good, behave, and I will see you in about a week and a half, maybe.